Here today on board Aethra. Aethra is a 63-foot Fleur De Lys motor yacht, designed and built by Dagless. They had a large range of Fleur De Lys motor yachts. This, I believe, was the biggest boat they built. Built in 1967 to Lloyds 100A1. You can see she's currently under a very weather-tight tent to protect her coming into the winter here. So here on the foredeck, this is the 24-volt windlass. It's been converted. It's the original windlass, been rebuilt and converted with a remote, so it can be operated from anywhere in the boat. Nice seat here in the pulpit. So here, these original bollard cleats, all very substantial stuff for a boat of this size. And looking back on the deck here, this deck is Iroko. It's laid over a plywood subdeck. It's all been largely refastened, and it's been totally repaid. So all the butyl rubber here, probably Sikaflex, has all been done in the last few years. And the sections of deck have had to be replaced. They've been lifted, plywood repaired, and new Iroko planking put down. So the deck is in seemingly very good order at the moment. Here we are looking at the wheelhouse. Because of the layout, the wheelhouse is actually quite far forward on the boat, which is quite interesting when you're inside. It gives you a very nice perspective over the bows. Here we've got this deck locker with that storage for ropes and so on. Speakers, fusion speakers built in. Hot and cold shower here on deck. So we'll move back down this starboard side. There's a door here into the wheelhouse, one each side into the wheelhouse. The decks, the coach roof decks, the wheelhouse decks, and that aft superstructure deck are all new. All the woodwork, all the trims, all the sheathing, everything has been replaced new in the last few years. Here's her name boards here. You can see these are actually backlit, so at night you can switch them on. You can see here, this is one of the sections of deck. You can see the new Iroko planking. It's recently all been replaced. And she has covers as well, custom fitted covers, which are all pretty new, which go into these sliders here and drop down and fasten onto poppers, just to protect all the bright work and also keep the sun out if you need to. Here's a funnel. This is alloy, all been repainted and sorted out. Looks absolutely stunning. So moving aft, so you can see this aft superstructure, this deck here is all new. Again, there's canvas covers run from these runners here down to the deck, come right the way around this roof. Here on this beautiful aft deck, can't quite appreciate it with the cover on without the full sun. So these units either side here have been fitted new. It's obviously running water here to these, and fancy northern light. This side you've got a fridge here, and there's also these switches. You see little underlights around, you can just see them in this daylight. Big aft deck. Again, big bollard cleats. Hatches here into the lazarette, twin lazarette lockers, great big lockers. And you've got stainless steel davits hanging over the stern with a ladder down for your big tender. And looking forward on this aft deck, beautiful space here. This is a drop leaf table folds up, so you can bring chairs out here, and obviously this fixed seating, so you can sit around and have lunch in the sun. Again, deck shower here, hot and cold. And then here, moving back along this port side deck. See these large windows here. Windows are actually slightly tinted, just to shade the interior a little bit. And then there's the foredeck. Well, actually, we'll go inside here through the wheelhouse. Here we are on this port wheelhouse door. So here's the helm position. As you can see, there's not much boat in front of you here, a lot of it behind. You've got fantastic views forward, and if you're handling in close quarters, you've got the big doors here. You can easily flip your head out the side and you can look aft if you're bringing the boat in stern to. It's got the old sailor VHF and a modern VHF as well. This is a Pinter autopilot, so the owners don't actually use it currently, so assume it works, but we don't know. And Furuno chart plotter and radar, which has got an open array scanner. It's got a bow thruster fitted as well, controlled here, side power electric bow thruster. And here's the controller for the generator, Onan generator. She also, if we look down here, part of her original kit, this is a Vosper mini fin stabiliser system. So all the electronics are installed, the mini fins are installed and connected up, all the hydraulic pump is on the engine. It's just the belts have been taken off, the drive belts on the engine to the hydraulic pump have been taken off because the owner wasn't doing any long distance stuff, wasn't sure how to use it, so decided to disconnect it, but it's all there, no reason to say it doesn't work. It's a nice helm seat and the usual Fleur De Lys crest. So yeah, stepping down from the wheelhouse into the main saloon. Again, all this roof is new. The galley has been put in recently as well. They've left this original joinery, which looks very nice indeed. And here's your drop leaf saloon table, polished mahogany table, which is actually out at the minute, pushed over to the side. So here in this galley, again, this is all new. This Nelson stove around the corner, hot and cold running water, big fridge. Got a larder locker there. Again, tons of storage everywhere. Microwave at the top. Lockers here. And she's got these blinds as well all the way along, so you can, even though you've got the tinted windows, you can drop the blinds down as well. Right, so if we come back here, now these steps here go back into the aft deck. So this is one of the main ways into the interior. There we are, the aft deck again. Stepping down into the deck saloon. And now we'll dive straight down below to the aft accommodation, down this companionway. So this would be owner's accommodation. So on the starboard side here, you've got one of the heads compartments. It's the original bath, Little mini sit-in bathtub. It's almost as deep as it is long. And then heads and basin here. These are all new Jabsco electric sea toilets. And we lift this up. This is one of the Vosper mini fins we were talking about earlier, the hydraulic stabiliser fins. See, it's all there, all pipework looks good, all connected up. Right then, over to the port side. Now, it's got a bit of stuff in this cabin, which we haven't moved, but this is a twin cabin, spacious twin cabin, all original joinery. One of the berths here is a thwartships, and the lower one is fore and aft. Good sized berths. Again, all nice original joinery. And moving aft again into the owner's cabin. Now originally this had two single berths, one either side, one large single berth either side, which was usual practice in her day, but the owners converted or used as much of the original joinery, reused as much of the original joinery as they can to create a queen size double with a settee over this side on the starboard side. Ensuite heads. Now this is a full size bath with shower, and the decor here, this is original Formica. Again, new heads, Jabsco electric sea toilets. Nice original joinery, all this mahogany panelling. Big hanging lockers. And you can see there's radiators in here as well, central heating, diesel fired system in the engine room. Moving forward, our companionway up to the deck saloon, and we'll duck down in here into the engine room. My favourite part of the boat. Here you see we've got a couple of Volvo Pentas, 165 horsepower, 6-cylinder, normally aspirated diesels. They're original to the boat, in very nice condition. The owners had all the heads off, refitted the heads, valves, injectors, all that kind of stuff, running very nicely indeed. She will do 12 knots if you wanted to, cruise very comfortably at 8 economically with the engine throttled right back, so she'll do good speed. You'll cover a lot of ground at that sort of speed. Gearbox you can see down here is self-changing gears, and we've got battery boxes and electronics, fuses, battery chargers, inverters. Either side outboard here are the fuel tanks. Big capacity tanks, give her a very long range, especially at her sort of 8 knots cruising speed when she's running very economically. Onan genset here, diesel generator. See bilge pumping pipework down here, all painted red. She's got a big Jabsco pump here, which is a clutch operated salvage pump. You can see these two here. These are the shaft stern gland greasers, one for each side, conveniently located here just inside the door of the engine room, so you can just reach in and give them half a turn every few hours. Now here we go, back up into the deck saloon. There's the steps up to the wheelhouse on the starboard side, and then this central companionway here drops down into the forward accommodation. So you can clearly see this boat's been laid out with the thought of having a paid crew on board. This door here closes off the forward section. So you have back aft, you've got the 2 sleeping cabins, one for the owner en suite and a guest cabin with their own heads. Here you've got a guest cabin, very nice guest cabin, 2 good sized twin berths, all original joinery. And then across here is again their own heads for those guests. The same little short sit-up bath, hand basin and electric sea toilet. And then if we open up this door into the forward space, this would then be the crew accommodation, totally separate. So there's a small double here on the port side, lots of storage underneath. Heads compartment, smaller than the guest ones, no bath, just a shower. Electric sea toilet. And twin V berths here, big bronze port lights. You can see the door there into the anchor locker right in the bows. So this boat could be run as a private yacht, very easy to handle with family, or it could be run with a professional skipper on board, a professional crew with their own space, so you're not tripping over each other all the time. She's a very nice size from that point of view. Big enough for private use, but also big enough to have a professional crew if you want. Here's a little feature the current owner's fitted. This is an old outboard engine which I've polished up and turned into a light. And then here we are back up the steps onto the aft deck.